we have to understand as saints, like, what you do affects the body, and I'm a part of the body, right? And God has given you sphere of influence. God has given you talents. God has given you, friendships, all of that stuff, right? And whenever you walk in sin, it affects what we all got going on. We all represent our same daddy, right? And so you're representing my daddy by doing that, like for real.
Yeah.
So I think it's actually, it could be two things, right? One, I actually do believe, especially, we're talking about, a man like that with so many talents, so many influences. I believe that he did have people. I believe, again, he had people in the circle that didn't want to say anything because, like, man, I'm kind of benefiting from this too, or whatever. But let's just say that's not the case. All right, let's just remove that. It is difficult enough anyway for a saint to challenge another saint. We see that on a day-to-day basis, right? We see saints, just a regular day-to-day saint with another saint calling out that saint for being ungodly. You don't see that a lot anyway.
Yeah.
Now put the saint that has all of these talents and this, that, and the third or whatever. It just magnified that much more. And unfortunately, many people, they understand that. They know they living in sin, and they know that they're surrounded by a community that won't call them out. And I'm going to seek a community that much more that won't call me out.
Yeah.
Only perpetuating, what's going on.
I mean, dude, I think about like King David. Did worse things. We see him. Oh, he defeated the giant. Bro, he did worse things than Michael Tate. Right? Like, and yet the Bible says this is a man after God's own heart. So what I think is worth paying attention to is not the fact that a Christian man messed up, because that's been happening from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
The thing we need to pay attention to is what culture we have allowed to be created as believers, right? And someone said to us before, that's super stuck with us just in our home and with our boys, they said behavior tolerated is culture created, right? Behavior tolerated is culture created. The things that we start to tolerate and justify to say, well, this is my ministry. And the minute you start idolizing a thing is the beginning of your downfall.
Yeah.
And I think this is what has proven itself to be true in this moment, is that we have created a culture that kind of has the same value systems of the world.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm saying it's alarming. We have to be careful as believers that we are not buying into that thing, because it's not like the Christian entertainment industry can't be evil because that's not a thing. It's made up of people. Like this table can't be evil, right? People sitting around the table doing a seance or looking at porn or whatever that thing is. That now means we're creating perverted, sinful activity around a table. Yeah. And I would say the same thing with the industry. We can't just say, well, the Christian industry is bad.
Boom.
The Christian industry is made up of people. Like, we're all susceptible to falling. We're all susceptible to sin. And we need to be willing to acknowledge the things that we are making more important than Jesus. That might be our career. That might be our income. That might be whatever. And the other reason that this is so important to me is that, there's some stuff here in Branson that is just not okay, right? This is a town that stands on family and faith, right? And there are things that we've experienced, stuff outside of the things that we've experienced, things not okay in Branson. Yeah. And I was talking to someone about this the other day, and he's like, man, I know so much of this stuff is so hard to believe. Like, it's Branson. Like, it can't. And a week goes by. I talk to him again. We follow up, and he's like, dude, it's crazy. Like, as I've been talking to people, asking questions, I almost didn't believe you. Not only do I believe you, but I can't believe how many people know this stuff is happening. How many Christians know this stuff is happening and are doing nothing and aren't doing anything. This is where I think we need to be so careful as believers, because we are allowing, not only are we allowing other people to fall and then calling them out once they do, but we are now positioning ourselves to be ones who are a part of seeing that downfall, and we don't want to stand up and fight.
Come on. What's so unfortunate is because saints don't understand the authority that God has given us. It's like we're like, oh yeah, I'm just ready to go to heaven. But right here, right now, we're just called to cohabitate with unbelievers and share this land and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. We need to be more, and hear me out when I say this. I know how it's going to sound. We need to be more aggressive underneath the grace of God, but we need to be more aggressive of being like, no, this is my place. Yeah. Like, this is my land. Like God gave us this land, right?
Yeah.
To do what? To bring his kingdom here. So it is my responsibility of getting the darkness out of there and making this place the light, which means that anytime that I expose the darkness, then I need to call that out. Now, you can do that in love. You can do that in understanding. You can do that in respect, but you do it.
Yeah.
But you do it, right?
Yeah.
Y'all did, and you got persecuted for it.
Yeah.
Other people see that I don't want to get persecuted for it, therefore they don't do it,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
then how on earth are we surprised that darkness is going
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
and we argue about
Well,
it?
this is
Darkness exists because light
Yes, the whole
doesn't show up.
evil overtakes everything when good men do nothing.
Nothing.
When
Yeah.
good men stay silent. When Christians
Yeah.
stay
Exactly.
silent.
Oh, if
Yeah.
I was an enemy, I was like, oh yeah, just be quiet.
Yeah.
Just be quiet.
Yeah.
all right?
And, but
Let
and
me do
what?
my
And
thing.
then calling it grace,
yeah,
calling it
bull
right.
crap.
Like, that's what I'm saying. But
Passivity. That's the
But that's what I'm saying is like there is a time to fight, especially when victims are being created,
Yeah.
right? And I think that a lot of times, look, dude, I'm not saying that this means Christians need to go calling out everybody's sin, pointing out everybody's sin. You're doing this. You lied about this. You were wrong about this. I don't think that's the point. But I think once there are victims being created, right? Like in this situation happening within the Christian music space, like there were victims being created. There's a time that you kind of got to step up. And maybe you give grace, you walk for a little bit, but then you say, hey, dude, you're not really kicking this. We need to figure something out. Because because every time, if I'm allowing you to hurt people, then that blood's also on my hands,
Come
right? We just watched a movie recently where the guy said, choosing not to say something is saying something. You've chosen what
Oh,
you
yeah.
want to say,
Oh,
which
bye
is
bye.
nothing.
Yeah.
a
Choosing
lot of
to
times
do
it's even
nothing-
louder than the words that you actually say.
Yep.
Yes, and you like, and here's the thing, and this is why we need to be so cautious that we are not allowing our value system to align with the value system of the world, because this is what's so beautiful about the Bible. The Bible says no matter what, people are more important. God's people are more important. Risk your career. Risk your finances.
Risk your life.
Risk your life.
Risk
No,
your
risk-
life on
yeah.
behalf of. That's exactly what we're supposed to be communicating. If we are ambassadors of the Father, and the Father was willing to lay down His life for us,
Yeah.
then if we're supposed to be His focus, His light,
Yeah.
to do the things that He's supposed to be, to communicate to the world how Christ loves us, then I am willing to lay down
Yeah.
my life on your behalf.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I'm willing to lose it all on your behalf.
Yep.
That's what we're supposed to communicate,
Yep.
but we
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
But we don't. But unfortunately, Christians aren't seen in that light because so many Christians just don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's whenever you think of the word Christian, like even from unbelievers, whenever you think the word Christian, what comes up, right? A lot of times people think judgy or
Yep.
hypocritical or passive, or just some people that you can just walk all over or whatever, right?
Apathetic.
But even within the Christian culture, whenever you hear the word Christian, are you thinking of like they're using their divine authority? They're standing for what's right. They're drawing a line to the sand. They're willing to put their finger in the
Yeah.
face of giants. They're willing to go to wherever to speak on the behalf of people, to love them, to radically give to that
Yeah.
person. Are they even willing to? Yes, to
Yeah.
give grace and give understanding, but also, ain't no but, alongside of that, to call them out and be like, listen, I'm going to tell what you do is wrong. I'm also going to lead you to
Yeah.
Christ, you know?
Well, because I think pastors are building audiences
Yeah.
and not armies, because even the pastors
Ah.
are not willing to get in the fight.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
lulling their
Boom.
community to sleep. They're building the brand. They're building the big church, and they're doing nothing.